Welcome in, everybody. It's been a minute since we have been live, and we are officially live. It's great to see everybody here. We're going to wait a hot second because it is the first show that we've been off for a hot minute here. And so people are like, wait, do I still come in at noon o'clock? We're going to go with noon o'clock because it's been a long ass week. Let's be honest. We were talking about this offline. And it's been a Friday could not have come a day earlier. I was thinking yesterday, multiple times on Thursday, thought it was Friday. On Wednesday, I thought it was Thursday. So I was like, man, I don't even know what day of the week it is. My computer's imploding. We were talking about it beforehand, but we've made it. We've got all of you wonderful ladies here. So welcome. It's so good to see you all of you.
Thanks for having us. And that intro is awesome.
Wow. Great. I was thinking the same thing.
I'm like, I could watch that like 10 times over. I think it's so cool.
I can take no credit for that at all. That is going to be all my wonderful editor, Josh Adams, who's incredible. So Russell, very good to see you. I feel like I'm getting spoiled, Russell. I didn't see you, but I saw your little avatar last night. I was able to hear your voice, so great to be here. And as I told you, the live stream is not complete until you are in the show. So I'm actually surprised. Like it's always a race between Jeff Villa, Russell, Peter Smith, and like Larry. Like all of those are like who can comment first. So Russell, you officially made it as the first person to comment. So welcome to the show, buddy. Woohoo! And Russ, I don't know if you saw this or not, but in the intro video, you are part of the Evergreen now. So until it gets changed, which won't be for a while, you are forever cemented into the intro video, buddy. We got Sarah Hannah. Cannot wait to hear all the wonderful things that you'll be unpacking. Yeah, I mean, Russell, we got a lot to unpack here for sure. Like we obviously had, I am biased just a little bit, but an awesome episode that dropped yesterday. And only that is that we're obviously talking today, and we've got a kick-ass session coming up here on the 9th. And we've got Russell, Brooke, you are, well, thank you. It may have been my last name, the Furniss part. I don't know. I was pretty hot last night. Maybe that's the reason why. Kelly, super excited for this. Kelly, it's been such a pleasure to get to know you over the last little bit. I'm so glad that last night happened, so I'd had a chance to get to know you. And oh my gosh, Eric, what's going on, buddy? Are you melting in Arizona, or is it just April?
Yes.
April and Eric are melting in Arizona. Very, very hot.
You know, this is okay. It's almost October, but can we just like talk about this for a second? That how incredibly crappy this is. It's going to be 112 tomorrow. Okay. Almost October. So that's like it's stupid. It's just stupid.
That's not the life for me.
Like I need the beach life, but
I'm so jealous. Everyone's got like long sleeves on and stuff, and I'm over here with my fan. Like,
yeah, April's like, I'm going paddleboarding this weekend. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Although it was gorgeous here yesterday. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous, and so I was like, hey, I will take this weather anytime when it's 75 degrees in the middle of not middle, yeah, end of almost October here. So we're all for that. Russell, yeah, it's a little toasty at that point. So hopefully the paddleboarding will cool you off a little bit. No guarantee on that.
Yeah, it's like falling on purpose, right?
Just dive right in. Peter, great. Peter, so great to see you, buddy. Thank you again last night for making that happen and bringing some incredible human beings to your clubhouse. For those, and I'm going to screw up when it is, Peter. I just know it's on Thursdays, certain Thursdays. I don't know what Thursdays they are. And then it goes from like 7 to 9. So just a great group of people there. And we've got Eric, love me the heat. I will, I agree, Eric, given the choice. Now, granted, I live in Chicago, so winters suck here. Like, let's be honest. Give me 100 degrees. I'm totally fine with it. And so I hear you on that one too. And Shelly Clark, oh my goodness, babe. Shelly, this is going back a hot minute, but I'm pretty sure you emailed me like a month ago, and it just dawned on me with seeing your name that I never responded back to you. So sorry. Sorry. Better late than never. So, we got Kelly saying thank you, April, too hot for me, and Peter. Tito's, oh man, it can be, my good friend. It's we were busting out some last night, that's for sure. And Russell, so glad you're back, especially with the lineup day. I've had the time. Thank you so much, Russell. I super appreciate that. So let's dive into this. So for those that don't know, we had the episode that dropped yesterday. Obviously, we're back live now because we're talking and it's coming through to your little social media platform of choice. So we're back here. We've got an incredible group of ladies. Before we get any further, just a heads up, we are speaking. If you haven't got this and that you have not been bombarded enough with the social media posts, we are speaking Wednesday the 9th at 2:20 p.m. in the keynote hall at Digital Dealer. You can see the little link below because you most likely can't click on that bad boy. I'm actually going to throw it into the show notes as well, or into the comment sections where you can see that as well. And yeah, make sure you're going to be there, because honestly, there's no other place you should be. Like, where else are you going to be? We are the best people ever. So you should be there. And for some reason, it's not pacing over, but we'll get that over here in just a second when it decides to pace. And with that, just want to kind of unpack the episode that just dropped here. As we all know, we do our main takeaways, and then the show goes off the rails here in about probably 5 minutes. We all have some fun, drink some wine, some Tito's, whatever it's going to be. So, Sarah, I've got you to whatever direction it is, but next to me, what was one of your main takeaways from the show that just dropped?
Yeah, so we talked a lot about generational marketing, which is something that I've been talking about for months now. And I really, truly believe that that's the future of automotive marketing, is just realizing that we need to be much more generational in our marketing strategies, and that we are so far beyond a world where you can throw up just one branding strategy and one strategy to drive traffic to your website and one strategy to generate leads, which I don't even want to talk about leads anymore, but we have to. So one strategy, generate leads. Like, you have to really personalize these for different groups of people, and, really analyze how they want to be communicated with, what's important to them when they're following different brands and different small businesses like your dealership. And ultimately why they want to come shop with you is going to be much more than just the inventory that you have on your lot.
Amen to that. That is something I think we talk about at length. Like, and we jokingly said on the show, like, are you going to go out to your lot and be like, hey, you should fill out a form, and then maybe we'll get like, that just doesn't happen. Like, but that is what we're asking people to do. And the whole forms concept, and I'm going to hopefully get this stat right, that it's about 2% of people that actually fill out forms, like the actual old school form. It's different if it's a interactive, I'm chatting and it's interactive, or a digital retailing tool, but the actual old school forms, 2%. So why are we forcing this so much to say, make the experience that much more difficult for people? So I love that you brought that up, and just being able to not focus on that one-time customer, because it is about that repeat and retention traffic. It very much is. So April, I'm going down to you, and then Hannah will go to you after April.
I think for me, the biggest thing is, kind of piggybacking a little bit of what Sarah said, but understanding that sales and service should not be two completely different strategies, and having a full circle approach to our marketing, which will save us a huge amount of money in getting that right message at the right time in front of the consumer, and understanding, household marketing, that you have children and husbands and wives that all live in the same house, and getting the right message to the right person.
Amen. And Russell, we were excited to have you there, buddy. Can't wait to see you there in Vegas. And Peter as well. I can't wait to see you there. And thank you for all the support. Super appreciate it. Hannah, over to you. What was one of your takeaways?
Yeah, absolutely. Sort of reflecting back on the episode, I think what I took away was we're at this really interesting time where we're at an intersection of AI, but also having human interaction. A lot of our session tapped into, where does AI play the piece and where does there have to be human oversight? And they really do work hand in hand, literally and figuratively. Like, you need to be having both at the same exact time. The machine needs to be machining, but the people, are in their positions for a reason, because they have the historical context. They know the customer better than anyone else. And it's a matter of integrating those two sort of lines together, but they both have a position and a place in the way that we have to market today.
Amen. I'm going to go over quickly to a couple comments here. We have to roll in here. So Eric is saying, I love that approach on marketing, taking notes. Yeah, Eric, like, as I am very, very blessed. I get to do this show because I get to talk with these just amazing, incredible human beings. I'm like, oh yeah. So people ask me all the time, like, okay, how do you stay up on topics? And I go, honestly, one of the number one ways I stay up to date on things is this freaking show, because I've got so many incredible and intelligent human beings that come on the show and just like, all right, thank goodness this is being recorded so I can go back and watch it. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a pre-record or if it's a live show. I always will go back and watch it multiple times, and I'll get something different out of it every single time. So I could not agree more with that. Russell's saying right on, April. I could not agree with that as well. One of the things for me, like, we talk, so many words get thrown around, and it kind of drives me bonkers, like I'm sure most, that these buzzwords get thrown around. And while first party data is super, super important, having it cleansed is even more important, because you'll sit there and market, and I don't have the stats right in front of me, but more or less, if you're sending, let's say, 50,000 mailers, statistically speaking, when that data is not cleansed correctly, you're only reaching half of that market, which is insane. And the same thing goes with, hey, we're going to do all this digital marketing. Well, if we don't have true, clean data and it's bi-directional, you are lighting money on fire. But too often we get so caught up in that we need to spend more money on marketing when our data is it's shit, like it's horrible. But yet we're going to keep throwing money at it. So that's one of the things as well. I know we'll get into much more in depth at the actual show. So we don't give that all away. You guys got to come still see us. But that was one for me that it was a big takeaway of just making sure that data is clean and going through and saying, have I asked the right questions to XYZ provider to know if it is in fact clean, or am I going to have to work out of 4 different systems to get the same result? Well, 95% of the same result. So really doing your due diligence that. And Micah, buddy, good to see you. Ask questions, be curious, not judgmental. Best way to grow in the industry. And Micah, to your point there, that is something that's you and I talk about quite a bit. It's like, don't go straight to villainizing the vendor. Like that drives me crazy. There are so many reasons why something may be happening, and you just got to ask. Be curious, as Micah's saying here. Go through and ask, okay, why are you doing it this way? Too often I see that they'll jump right to a conclusion, and that you didn't understand the reason behind that. Now, there may not be a reason, and they just were ignorant to how to do it, but really take the time to learn about that. So, Micah, thank you so much for that. I'm going to go back down to April of what's another takeaway from this amazing show that just dropped.
I want to piggyback something though with what Micah just said as well, because I think a lot of times dealers, because they don't know, they come across judgmental, and it's because they don't actually understand the things. So they may just be selling or servicing less vehicles, and so their defense is an offensive attitude. And so my suggestion would also be to the vendors out there, to realize that when a dealer is maybe coming at you sideways, that it's probably because they don't understand, and all they do know is that they're not winning right now and they need you to help them win. So it kind of comes from both sides of, hey, dealers, just understand that we're in this together. We need to be in the boat together, rowing the same direction. But also vendors understand that usually dealers have so much pressure on them, and they're just like, hey, all of a sudden I'm not selling cars, things are costing more, I don't know what to do. And so just kind of take with a grain of salt maybe the attitude that's coming at you, and seek to understand from them as well. Like, ask questions, slow down, because I've been on these calls where that happens a lot, and I see very quick escalation from both sides when there doesn't need to be. So yeah, thanks, Mike. I totally agree. The other thing that we talk about with regards to our show is clean data and first party data is awesome. But if we don't have a way to make it actionable, then it means absolutely nothing. And I think that's the biggest takeaway and the biggest thing we're going to talk about in our show in Vegas on Wednesday at 2:20 is really, why it's important to have these things, but then how do we actually make it actionable, and how do you work with all your vendors and your vendor partners to ensure that the proper data is being utilized and being activated, and then quite frankly, not being overlapped. This industry has more waste and spend and overlap of doing the exact same thing and saying the exact same thing to consumers. It's insane. So how do we cut the fat? How do we get rid of the overlap? How do we look at a part statement? These are all the important things that we're going to share with you at Digital Dealer when you come see us.
Yes, that is something that also is another hot button of mine, as I'm sure everyone on this panel can talk about that the amount of overlap, it is crazy. And Sarah, you brought up a good point on the show of saying, so Russell goes, I'm sorry, I missed that date, April. What was it again?
You know why? Because I messed it up so many times, and you guys will all laugh at me. I'm going to share now. So I finally was like having too many conflicts and trying to figure it out. I literally went and did my own I printed, okay, here's where you need to be at what time and where you're supposed to be on paper, so that I have a walking agenda with me at all times now. So I've got the date and the time correct. 2:20.
Yes, 2:20.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that I messed up as well. So I was like, well, you know what? At some point, someone's going to see that, oh, wait, this is not what I thought. Because I don't know. It's also like when people throw in booth numbers. I'm sorry. No one's going to remember a booth number. I'm going to get booth 1,799.7. Yeah, I'm going to definitely remember that next time. I'm not.
Now, Brooke, what I did do though is I went on and actually printed the Expo Hall map.
Oh, nice.
So that I can, kind of chart a path through there as well. So that's, kind of another pro tip if you're trying to maximize your time and you don't know the numbers and all the things. I can at least see, okay, hey, this booth is next to this other booth that I want to go see and try to chart it out with a map. So
I'm going to call bullshit on that real quickly, April. You really printed out the map to know where to be for your 17 sessions that you're speaking at. That's why you printed it out.
Well, so it's about maximizing the time. It's all about efficiency. So if I have, 45 minutes between a session I'm speaking at here and a session I'm speaking at here, who is in my path between here and here that I can pop in and say hi to?
You had to get all serious on me. Like, okay, I get it. You're kind of a big deal. I get it.
I even have a sign. Look.
If it says an imagine that says I'm Gina, I can't do it.
You have to bring that with you in the expo.
My husband bought this for me for my desk.
It's true. You are. So I don't disagree with that. Got a little sidetrack there. Hannah, coming down to you. What's another takeaway for you, babe?
I think we touched on it a little bit, but part one in my mind is having clean data. Part number two to reduce wasted spend is segmented data. You guys briefly touched on it with there being overlap, but like we have to be able to put all of our contacts or our customers into different funnels so that they aren't receiving that. And if you aren't working with a customer data platform, which is a lot of what we're talking about on how to utilize first party data, you're not going to be able to know who you touched, when you touched them, when they've been contacted, or even like what they've been contacted about. And I think once you're able to get that data segmented and it's cleaned, I think we're even moving past a point of contextual marketing where it's, fill in blank with name X, Y, and Z. We need to be more in like generative marketing. Like we need to be able to fill in so many other pieces like, hi, April, great to see you again. I know that you're getting serviced on X, Y, and Z date. We need to have the customer data platform really working and moving all of its levers saying, hey, historically, this is when you've been in. It's way past, I think truly we're way past the point where consumers want just, hey, we know you need an oil change. It's, hey, it was so good to see you last time. Are you still happy in that car? So I think, obviously we touched on it being number one, the data, but number two, we need to segment it. And then number three, we need to be able to pull the levers to make it really personalized without just using tokens anymore.
Great.
I'm just chuckling aside of everything you just said because it's so true. Peter is saying, if you're that busy, April, how are you going to take me to lunch and dinner? As I know Brooke has drinks. Well, cheers to that, Peter. Is all I'm going to say. That, yeah, buddy.
Tito's covered, obviously.
I do. So what all that we're going to sidetrack here because that's what this Friday show is about. I should have a lot of fun and get completely off track here. Is I had moved into my new place here, in like May or whatever. And I had my Costco-sized Tito's because obviously, why not have a Costco-sized Tito's? And all of a sudden, I opened up the freezer. It's one like those the drawer freezers. I was like, man, why is this water not frozen? It's like, that's weird. That's really weird. And I was like, and it's like icy, but it's not frozen. I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, where is this water coming from? Thought there was a leak. I go to pick up my Tito's bottle that we had used, my friend and I had used to like clean some stuff that didn't have alcohol. Tito's bottle, the entire mother Tito's bottle, all over the freaking drawer of the freezer. So I told a friend, he goes, why'd you not throw orange juice in there? I go, that's actually not a bad idea.
And a straw.
And a straw. I'm like, this is where we're sitting right now. It was bad. It was easily, I'm going to say, I'll go up here, probably that much Tito's just everywhere. And I was like, man, I cannot figure this out. I was like, oh, now I know why it's not frozen because it's vodka. That's why.
At least it's not
Super sterilized.
It's a sticky substance, and those are never fun when something like that blows up. I mean, at least it's reusable. You get it out. It's still drinkable because
Oh no! Well, see, I didn't know at the time. There wasn't a vodka smell to it, which was really odd. So almost like trying to get like paper towels everywhere, trying to get all this liquid out of there. And so, anyways, in case you're wondering, yes, I guess you could. I've seen like the 7-liter dip on social media, the drawers, whatever. But I had a full out vodka drawer. I was like, if this doesn't epitomize me right now, I don't know what does. So, really, we're going Tito's on the rocks. Just throw some limes in there. We're good to go. So.
The over in 20.
You're very close. Just, yeah. I actually should. I'm like, hey, do you want to come drink some vodka out of my freezer? Yeah, that's a good idea. So in case you're wondering, yes, that's some of the funness of what's been going on here. But April, to your point, that's looking at saying a clip had dropped recently with Denise from PCG on the show recently of some reels, and we talking about, hey, that's hold up. The show has officially begun because Brian Ortega is here. Brian, your name actually got brought up in the show, so I forgot to text you last night, buddy. But you guys are definitely on the show. And Micah, if you run through a Brita filter, it tastes like water. I do have a Brita filter, so that might be an option there. But Denise had made a point of like saying, she goes, nothing annoys me more is that when I'm in for service and I get the next day, hey, you should come in for service. Or I just bought a car and, oh, wait, yeah, you should come for a car. And we talk about, the Amazon, the Apple, whatever experience you want to throw on there. But the truth of the matter is they would never, ever do that to us. Like there's no way of all the trillions of dollars they're spending to market to people. It's not based on, oh, well, I think that you bought this. My CRM, which is very disconnected from my DMS, which is disconnected from my marketing platform, which is also disconnected from whatever else. And I have 3 DMSs. There's not that, I'm going to say it again, there's not that disconnected platform. So knowing that not just the Brooke came in for service, I know that Brooke is driving past our dealership and she's servicing somewhere else. Okay, why are we not doing a different marketing campaign for that? Oh, I can see that Brooke bought from us, but isn't servicing, or she's serviced, but she's never bought. And there's so much technology out there because of these wonderful things right here. We give up all the information into the world to people, but it's having those tools in place to turn around and be actionable to say, okay, I know that she shops at XYZ store. That's different than the competitor. How I market to that customer is going to be different than you can have 2 people buy the exact same car. But if their shopping behaviors are different and where they go to get coffee, where they work out, where they whatever, that you need to very much tailor that message to that consumer because it's way different if it's customers at Lifetime versus Planet Fitness. Like all these little things tell a story. So I love that you brought that up there, April. And anything else? I'm looking at the time here, like at 20 minutes. We're usually around that 30-minute mark. Anything that we missed from other than come see us Wednesday, 2:20 on the keynote hall. Anything else we missed from the episode, ladies?
The only thing that I can maybe add, and it's a great reason to even stay after our panel to chat with us, is kind of to April's point earlier. Dealers have to now manage not just so many vendors like they always had, but like manage their media mixes in a way that they've never had to do before and understand to everybody's point, like, okay, this is what this person's running and this is what this company's running and this is how they measure success. This is how they measure success. But this is how I want to measure success. And dealers wear so many hats as it is, but these marketing managers are truly drowning while trying to manage all of these vendors and all of these and their media mix at large. So, just staying after the panel and chatting with us, if you're a dealer that's feeling that way and they're like, I'm drowning and none of these vendors are doing the same thing and they don't talk to each other and I don't know how to get them all on one call or I don't know how to get them to all work together for like a common goal. Like we have strategies to help you with that. And those are great conversations to bring to Digital Dealer in the expo halls or in your workshops because every other dealer at Digital Dealer feels like that too.
Oh, can we just give a clap for that one?
Because I had like mic drop right there. So yes,
yeah,
100%.
1 million %, 1 million %. And I think the other person we have to start really having in these conversations is the OEM, right? So a lot of times, you have the vendor, you have the dealer, you have the OEM, you have the customer, and you have everybody screaming at the dealer that we need to provide meet the customer where they're at and provide all these things. But Sarah, you really said it really, really great right there because ultimately at the end of the day, the dealer tries. We really do try. We want to give the Amazon experience, but we get handcuffed because the vendors aren't working together across the way. Or, the OEM says, well, no, I'm only going to pull the data from the DMS and I won't pull it from your CDP or, whatever the case may be. And so these are, ways that we have to come together, get all of these all these columns kind of coming together and saying, hey, how can we bridge this so that we can provide that to the customer? Because at the end of the day, the customer is the one that matters, right? It's not, you can tell us dealers that it's our fault to figure it out, but we have to have the help from all the other people to get us there, to make sure that that can actually be given to the end consumer. So very well said, Sarah. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And side note, Brian, you're gonna have to help me on these emojis right now, buddy. Like I'm trying to follow them. My
It's
son's
like
not
coding.
I'm like,
Hieroglyphics.
so Brian, help me on this. So I don't know if we're playing a game or hey, I'll take the fact of throwing emojis in there.
Swimming with sharks.
It looks like I don't know the it's like dolphin.
That dolphin shark.
Swimming
Swimming away from the sharks.
Yeah, I don't know. Brian, you got to help me on here. And then we got another little swimmer here. So thank you.
Worker?
I can't.
Bob the Builder?
Brian said he's drowning. Okay.
God.
Thank you for that, Brian. Thank you very much, buddy. Kelly, tech stacking and broken comm channels will destroy employee and customer experience every freaking time. So yeah, Michael, we were going with the sharks as well, buddy. And Kelly, to your point is that there's too often is that you see that people are trying to buy their way out of inefficiencies. And so if I just keep throwing money at it, it's going to go away. I'll add another CTA, I'll add another system, I'll add another this, and not tell anybody about it, and understand that while this thing may be really great, it doesn't integrate with anything. Or to April and Sarah's point, hey, the OEM is forcing us to have this. Okay, how is that going to integrate? If it doesn't, is it duplicating things? Is it making a broken customer experience? But we're not the normal e-commerce industry. So understand that as well when you're going through all this. And we've got, we've got juggling. Much juggling clown. I didn't see the clown there, but clown. I didn't see that. Did I miss that here? I must have missed the clown here.
I know that Bob the Builder was juggling. Maybe I think your Bob the Builder might have been the juggler. Yeah. See, I think. Yeah, he's juggling. See the 4 balls. He's not a builder. He's a juggler.
He's a juggler. Okay. Okay. I see it now. I've just seen that emoji ever.
Never seen
it. I don't know if I have that.
Never used it.
Yes. And I agree, Peter. It is definitely zombie time for Brian right now, also known as Brain. And Brian, I'd like you to know that my phone autocorrects to Brain when I type your name in now. So thank you for that, by the way. Every single time. It's the same like Dan Moore. My phone will autocorrect to Moore every time I text Moore. I was like, Dan, damn it. Dude, this is what you're doing to my phone now. Russ is saying we're just replaced it with the AI. Yeah, we've seen how well that works with any of these companies that their support is horrible because they cut all of the humans, not all. They significantly cut their staff and are expecting AI to do everything. Mike is saying here, we got horses. Is that okay, Mike? I'm going to go with the 4 horsemen. Yeah. Mike and I have this back channel of what this group should be called, and he's had some pretty good ones. I think that's what you're saying there, Micah. And Kelly, creating redundancy, is this what adds to employee frustration and what I've heard to it is time suck. Mm-hmm. It just sucks in general. Like, let's be honest, it is a time suck, but it 100% does that as well. So yeah, a lot of good content here. April, you went, Hannah, anything you want to add? We good?
I think we're good unless anyone needs a reminder, 220 keynote. Don't forget it. Just one final closing note here.
So in case you didn't know, it is Wednesday at 2:20 the keynote hall. So just at this point, and you're going to most likely see more advertisements about this, but yes. Russell, I don't know if you're serious on what happened or not about the AI. I'm not sure on that portion. A little more detail on that. But yes, like Google, Facebook, all those companies cut, and Sarah, I'm sure you can attest to this, how fun it is to try to get anything done now because of how much of the staff they've cut. And so, or even like they've got the bots that are going in and saying, oh, this Google business profile, it's not legitimate, so I'm just going to change it. I've got a company that it took, oh my God, since January and as of this month, so 9 months to get their listing claimed. Not anything else, just claimed because of Google's all their new AI stuff, and you can't talk to a human. There's no longer the postcards, which didn't think I'd ever miss postcards, but apparently I miss having those postcards because it's so difficult to get anything done. And Tammy, new follower, first-time listener, thanks for the smiles, lady. I'll be back. Thank you, Tammy. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. Enjoying your little Friday afternoon or wherever you are. Maybe it's morning for you. And Brian, it is 100% emo charades at this point. So I think that wraps it up here. We've got about 30 minutes into this. Had some great content. Some obviously, as always, great content and comments coming through. And Brian, we may have to do the emoji charades moving forward. So I'm going to task you with that to test our knowledge and our eyesight moving forward. So thank you for that very much, buddy. But with that, everyone, like I said, well, you all know at this point where we're going to be. We're not going to say it again because and it's redundant at this point. Catch us there. If you haven't checked out the episode, go check it out. It's on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Just super appreciate you all being a part of this, and be very, very excited to be back at the show, be back in the studio, and cannot wait to see you. Mike, I can't wait to see you, buddy, as well. It's been a minute. And with that, everyone, y'all know the drill at this point. Find a way to serve today. Find a way just to be the joy in somebody's life, whether that is opening a car door, whether that is a kind smile. Just do something to better someone's life today. And with that, everyone, we'll see everybody next week.